Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of Historic Rugby at Home. This is Jordan, one of the staff members here at Historic Rugby. And today we're going to get up close and personal with the library. The Thomas Hughes Public Library was built in 1882, and it is one of the original buildings here in the village. And today we're going to get a closer look. We are going to look at the foundation, we're going to look at the architecture, and we're going to get to see some things that we don't usually get to see on tour. And today we'll cover some things that we don't usually cover also on the regular tour. So we're going to get closer and we're going to look around. The library is frame construction, and frame means that underneath these boards, right here, underneath these boards, there's a framework, a skeleton, and these boards are nailed onto that skeleton to hold them up. The library sits on a natural sandstone foundation, and you can get a good look at the foundation there. They started building the library in 1882, and John Winkley was the gentleman who had the plans to build the library. He was the architect, he was the contractor actually. And when they started building, he passed away, he died, and he's buried in Laureldale Cemetery. And all they had was the foundation. Here's the back of the library. All they had was the foundation. And so his wife, Rosilla, with her small children, she took up his plans and she finished the library. And it was finished through the summer and on into the fall of 1882. And the library opened on October the 5th. We'll get a closer look at the foundation. You'll notice something interesting here. These stones have these holes in them. The stone was quarried, it's natural stone, natural sandstone, but was quarried locally, and they probably found a big sandstone bank somewhere close by, and they would take a drill that you would hit with a hammer, and they would drill down into the stone, and when you had a whole bunch of these holes, you would pack dynamite into one of the holes, and then once you set off the dynamite, everything would fracture and would fall out in pieces. And so these are some of the holes that kind of helped it to fall apart. We got large windows on each side except for the back. And what they did, they opened the library on the afternoons, usually a couple times a week. And so these windows, and once we get inside you'll notice there's no light fixtures. There's only a couple lamps on the tables, but these large windows were the light source whenever the library was open. And we got shutters that protect them. Those big windows protect them from the elements. Also protect the books. Another thing I'll mention about the foundation is that in one of the cornerstones, and a cornerstone is a stone that's set here in the corner, that are actually, they use them to set how big the building is. In one of the cornerstones, when they built the library, they put a time capsule. And Margaret Hughes, the mother of Thomas, our founder, she was in her mid-80s by this point, but she was here when the library foundation and the cornerstone was dedicated, and she put a time capsule inside one of the cornerstones. And it had a copy of the newspaper, had some other things that the colonists left in there. Like most buildings throughout the southern United States, the library has a porch on it. Has a nice turned post on the front. Also, these steps are original. They were quarried just like the foundation was out of natural stone, and you can see how this one is rounded on the edge. Now, these are the original doors with the original locks and the original handles. The windows are hand painted, and they say on the left, Hughes Public Library, opened October 5th, 1882. And this is the original paint on the windows. Original handle. So you came inside, and there's a small foyer here. There's an umbrella stand. It's a very, very small foyer. Unlike many of the Rugby buildings, the library has plaster in it. A lot of the other buildings have wood siding, have wood paneling on the inside. The library actually has plaster on the inside. It has this natural wood wainscoting, is what's called. Comes halfway up. But then this is original plaster here. And you can see how far up it goes. The plaster gives a nice clean look. Also reflects light very well, which you would need in a library. And then we have two doors here, and I'll show you the doors on the other side. Let's get a quick sweeping view of the library. Okay, so the doors that we just came through. These doors are covered in tarred canvas, and you can see the pattern and the tack marks, the tacks there. And these doors probably deaden the sound. As you could hear, the lock is kind of loud as you come in through the front door, and the door closes kind of loud. These doors here probably just served as a muffle, to keep it good and quiet in here while people were reading. So again, let's take a nice, slow, sweeping view of the library with the original collection inside. 7,000 books. None of the books in the library are newer than 1900. Everything is from 1899 and before. This is the original collection. There's no replacements here in the library. One thing that you'll notice here in the library is the original library tables. These are large. They're probably 6-8 feet long, with nice turned posts on the legs. They're probably made out of walnut, it looks like. If you look at the top, they're probably made out of walnut. Beautiful tables. These chairs are also the original library chairs. These are the same ones that people would have sat in when they came to visit the library. The cane bottom chairs also, with these rush seats, these are also the original chairs in the library. All right, tune in next week when we go and we look a little bit more into the library. Have a great day, and we will see you soon.